So my name is Matthew Bronson, and before I start, I think it's really interesting, really unique, as I came on board with the Lower McCollum group to see one river, but yet there's just two issues that are facing the river, two different issues, yet we're coming together as a group. We got the Upper McCollum and they have their issues, and the Lower McCollum, we're coming together, and I really think that's a pretty special thing. So I applaud the Upper McCollum for their work, and that we're trying to work together even though we have divergent concerns. For instance, the fire issue. I think it's a good one. So I'm the chairman of the Lower McCollum, this is quite an acronym, Lower McCollum River Watershed Stewardship Steering Committee. Yeah, so that's why I'm here today, but I also wear another hat. I'm also working for a nonprofit called the Center for Land-Based Learning, and I provide educational programs here in San Joaquin County and now in Stanislaus County, doing habitat restoration projects, and I see a lot of familiar faces out there, so I want to thank everybody that's helped me in the last 2 years, just with dialogue and being mentors, and just some great people out there helping out. So with that being said, I'll be talking about the Lower McCollum River, and just wanted to show you a quick picture of the Lower McCollum. And really the Lower McCollum for me and for my group really starts at Comanche. And let's see if I can get that clicker here. There we go. So if we look over here, we've got Lockford, and the river that we're talking about really starts right about here, and it flows all the way through Lodi, Woodbridge, and down to the Delta. And so that's the area of the McCollum River that we're really concerned with when we're talking. And our group is nonpartisan. We invite the community to come. We meet once a month, and we try to get various stakeholders together, and we try to come up with some innovative ways to basically make people aware of the McCollum River watershed and the river. And we also want ways to enhance the river, whether it be through recreation or through riparian habitat restoration. And we have various stakeholders, and I know a lot of you that have come up and spoke today have mentioned some of these stakeholders, so I'm not going to go through them all, but one of the things I think that you'll find is that we welcome everybody, and we've really tried to work on a dialogue where everybody can come to the table and get something out of it. I know Julie had mentioned that earlier today, but you'll see farmers up there, you'll see irrigation districts, you'll see wine grape commissions, a country club. So we're really asking everybody to come to the table and speak, and I think that really makes the meetings run well and be a positive experience. And so we have a lot of different stakeholders. We also have some citizen groups and some schools. One of my personal favorites is we have Friends of the Lodi Lake, and they have a great program with high school students and with elementary school students. And the high school students actually do some monitoring, and they've collected data, and I think it's approximately 10 or 11 years worth of water quality data for the McCollum River, and they're actually having the students do the analysis, which I think is wonderful. And they also have a wonderful docents program where they're getting retired folks and people that are just interested in spreading the word about the wonderful attributes of the McCollum River. So there's just a great sense of community going on with the McCollum River. And then, of course, we have government agencies, and I've been fortunate to work with a lot of these government agencies, and they're really taking the time out of their day to come out and to help with the river, whether it be as a mentor to an educational program or to come to speak at different activities. But I really like how all the agencies are positive, and they're willing to lend a hand when they can and take time out of their day to help out with whatever functions that they can. So I think that's really great, even though we have a lot of different interests with these government agencies. And so I'm going to mention 3 partnership milestones that I think are of significance. And the first one's a non-mitigation safe harbor agreement, which they were able to facilitate. Also, McCollum watershed landowners, one of our landowners that actually grows wine grapes for, I think they're going on 5 generations now, they received the prestigious Leopold Award for conservation efforts. I've actually been able to work with them, and it's been a wonderful experience. And also, recently, we've been highlighted in the White House Conference on Cooperative Conservation. So we've really strived to make our name known, not only in the local community, but also on the national level. And this is something that I've kind of come on, as I've come on board as a chairman, I've really taken the reins on. And I have a couple copies of this, and what I'd like to do right now is I'd like to just kind of hold this up, little show and tell. We've been working on educating the local communities, and we've decided that if we're going to educate the communities, the community in the McCollum River watershed, that we really have to address a couple different interest areas. There's the local residential landowner, and then there's the farmer, and then there's maybe the the small ranchette owner. And so one of the things that we've been working on, and this is actually the final, next to final draft, of the McCollum River Watershed User's Guide. And what we've been doing is we've been going around with help from the City of Lodi. They've been a tremendous supporter of this program. We've been going around and we've been having a dialogue with residential folks and talking to them about ways that they can help their watershed, right? We're talking about water quality and whatnot, and so we came up with this workbook, and we'll be unveiling this on May 10th. And what it basically does is it asks the landowner to, this is probably a good picture, to rate themselves on how they're doing in respect to conserving or completely getting rid of certain things that could be hazardous to the McCollum River and its water quality. And so this is something that we will be unveiling on May 10th. I do have a couple copies. I don't mind if people come and look at it, but it's something that we're going to be encouraging. And if anybody in another watershed would like to take advantage of this, after May 10th, it'll be online and you can actually use this in your watershed. But we really want to embrace not just the people that have, the farms, but we want to talk to the people that are maybe washing their cars and letting the water go down the gutters and right into the river. So this is something we've been working on. I'm really passionate about it. I think it's a great thing, and we've tried to make it really brief so that people, that come to our meetings about this, that they just, kind of skim through here, get a few tidbits of information, and then they walk away feeling good about some things that they can maybe do to help out at the very grassroots level. Another thing that I'm obviously passionate about because it's my full-time job is the SLUES program, and that's something I really think for the lower McCollum River has been an amazing experience because it really shows, and I have a picture up here, it really shows how students and landowners and government agencies can get together and they can actually make an impact on the land and make an impact long term. And so this is actually a picture of some of my students at Langtwin's winery as they're putting up a kestrel box. So we have what's called a SLUES, or a Student Landowner Education and Watershed Stewardship program, and we actually partner with the landowners, and so we're doing habitat restoration, but the students are actually putting the plants in the ground and they're doing the irrigation and they're doing the monitoring. So that's another way that we're really active. Every year we're doing this. We're getting local schools involved and we're getting the landowners involved, and it's been very rewarding. Now I know that the Upper McCollum River presentation mentioned some of the other initiatives that are going on, and I'm just going to briefly mention this initiative that's up here. It's what's called Ecosystem Services, and they're trying to work together with the Upper McCollum and the Lower McCollum stakeholders to come up with a way to quantify the value of doing doing restoration projects on the McCollum River. And on the lower watershed, you'll see some of the people or some of the organizations that are involved, and on the upper watershed, you'll see some of the folks that are involved. And this is a grant, it's a national grant, and if anybody here is interested in more of the information about it, more of the specifics, Sustainable Conservation is the group that's that's leading this, and I do have their contact information, so if you're interested, please just come on over and let me know, and I'll give you the contact information. But they've already started to, you know, decide which sites they're going to use to do this analysis, and I think this is going to be really groundbreaking in the future, so that it's not just we're doing this for the birds or we're doing this for the fish, but they're trying to come up with some dollar value to each tree that you put in the ground in conservation work. So I think this is going to be great for the future of not just the McCollummy River watershed, but other watersheds. And I'm going to skip this. It just kind of talks more about what's going on with these economic services. And finally, as I leave here today, I just want to say, as a chairman, I have been able to interact with a lot of different people on the conservation level the last 2 years, and I'm really impressed that the people are passionate not just about their river, but everybody's working together for the benefit of the entire valley. And so I want to just tell you, keep up the good work. You're definitely making a difference, and you're definitely making a positive change for the youth, because the youth have seen your work and they're getting excited about it. I have a few interns, college interns, and they're getting excited about the work that you're doing. So keep up the great work, and thank you.